home countries.
Even a country as what you would think as unstable as Somalia, the amount of remittances that come in from diaspora, that should be, as a start, enough to rebuild any country.
How did you end up in South Africa?
I went to visit, actually. Yes, I went to visit. Then after some time, then I felt, okay, why not start life here? I went there. I took a single room. Nothing was there. Plain. Then I decided, okay, if I put a mirror there and a chair and a cupboard just to put your stuff in there, you'll find some people to rent from you, then you can make a living out of it. So basically, we're creating jobs for them, actually.
Because most of the time when they are talking about illegal immigration, they think it only affects the townships or the poorest of the poor, whatever they want to call it. But even us at the suburbs are feeling the impact of illegal immigration, where people are erecting illegal structures that we have been reporting for years, and we are doing what we can do as residents, but it's all falling on deaf ears. The problem with illegal shacks that are being erected on a daily basis.
Exactly. This is what I'm talking about. You can dislike this one because she's a South African, and of course choose to sympathize with this our sister because she's a Kenyan and she wanted to survive. Nobody is thinking about this one who is also surviving. Now at this point, if you do not understand the struggle of South Africans, I will not be able to help you. My name is Lillian, and I will appreciate a like, a subscription, and of course, I love to read your comments in the comment section. So feel free to leave one. This video is not for everyone, okay? In this video, I'm going to look like a devil. I'm going to help you throw light on things that you don't want to see about the struggle that is going on in South Africa, the apathy that is going on in South Africa. If you like, Lily, you are a bad person. Absolutely, yes, I am a bad person, okay? So if you cannot stand it, if this video is going to make your blood pressure go up, I would advise you click out, because you see this video, I'm going to be as practical as the air we breathe. So I'm simply going to title this video Connecting the Dots. Yesterday, I came across a post on a reliable news station talking about how South Africa have been, feeding the continent. I mean, at least in the whole of the continent of Africa, South Africa have contributed massively to other African countries. Imagine the last born, the second to the last born of the continent have so far contributed massively, have felt every nation on the continent of Africa and even outside of the continent. And I have videos to prove, to connect. This one on the screen here talked about how illegal structures in some part of the country is making them that are legitimate property owners now running out of business. Apart from the environmental disaster that these illegal structures are causing, is affecting them financially. And you want to say, oh, that is jealousy, that is envy. But in reality, that is not envy. I mean, in my own country, I'm doing something the right way. I pay my taxes, I register my business, and then you that is not properly documented, you who, if anything happens in my country, you have a choice. You can easily go back to your own country. You just come into my own country and then you do illegal structure because you want to send money back home for survival. What about me in my country that is not expecting money from anywhere? Like I said earlier in the video, in this video, I'm going to be looking like a devil, and that is not a problem. So if you're ready to see me like that, keep watching. Otherwise, click out as we get into the video. Now let's get into the video.
I've been looking at remittances, money that is sent from South Africa, from other countries, back to these migrants' home countries.
Even a country as what you would think as unstable as Somalia, the amount of remittances that come in from diaspora, that should be, as a start, enough to rebuild any country, as a start.
Yes. Of the African nationals who were seeking to leave South Africa in the lead up to mass action on June 30th, Nigerians are by far the biggest contributors of remittances to their home country. $21.3 billion a year, representing 11.3% of that country's GDP, according to the latest figures published by the World Bank. The US, UK, and Gulf countries are Nigeria's main remittance sources. At $3.6 billion a year, the money Zimbabweans send back home represents 8.4% of their country's GDP. South Africa remains Zimbabwe's largest remittance corridor. Ghanaians generate $2.9 billion in remittances a year, or 3.7% of their country's GDP, money sent mainly from the UK and US. Uganda receives $2.5 billion deposited from the UK, US, and South Africa yearly. Congolese nationals generate $2 billion with Angola as the DRC's main remittance source, followed by France, the Republic of the Congo, South Africa in fourth place, ahead of Belgium. Lesotho, Mozambique, Malawi, and Eswatini nationals send $476, $267, $264, and $85 million annually from South Africa. I mean, Lesotho, for example, 20% of the GDP is from remittances. People who work mainly in South Africa who are sending money back home. Nigeria, 11%. Many of these, Nigerians are all over the world. Not just in South Africa. Exactly, not just in South Africa. So, and these are productive human resources.
Which should be directed to the countries themselves.
Exactly.
Take note of that, okay? Just take note of that. And now let's get into the connecting part. I'm connecting this to this video I came across by some brilliant Kenyan journalists. They ask good questions. And this woman talked about her ordeal in South Africa. Let us see if you can connect the dots. Let's get there.
Plays that jingle. Or the moment when you land at JKIA.
Yes.
Welcome to the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport.
Yes.
Did you cry?
I did. First of all, why I did cry is because we've been there for long, right? So trying to make ends meet, you find like, okay, you have bills to pay that side. Sometimes it's hard to come home because the little you earn there, you have to sustain that side. You got families that side. You got issue to settle. So feeling home, it's basically one of the best things.
Yes. Maybe we go back a little bit in time.
Yes.
When did you first go to South Africa? Was it, for work, for school, for fun, and then ukaona hapa ni Papua wacha nikae? How did you end up in South Africa?
I went to visit actually. Yes, I went to visit. Then after some time, then I felt, okay, why not start life here?
What year was that?
It was 2013. Yes. 13 years ago. So I stayed there. I'm there legally. Okay, then I got 2 kids now.
It's so you got to South Africa, started living there in 2013.
2013, yes.
When you say you're there legally, you're legally there as a resident.
Yes.
Correct? And you have the correct papers.
Yes.
To allow you to stay there.
Yes.
And to work there. So were you working or doing business?
I was doing business. Yes. I was doing beauty. Yes. And in that industry, what's basically, as Kenyans sometimes, we got that mind to create like a job opportunity and all that. So what we did, the idea we brought in, we took an open space. Actually, I took an open space, put some mirror space. There's a way, when you go to a country, there's a way they live. So you try to adapt to how they live. So basically, I went there. I took a single room. Nothing was there, plain. Then I decided, okay, if I put a mirror there and a chair and a cupboard just to put your stuff in there, you'll find some people to rent from you, then you can make a living out of it. So basically, we're creating jobs for them actually. I took a single room, nothing was there, plain. Then I decided, okay, if I put a mirror there and a chair in the cupboard just to put your stuff in there. You'll find some people to rent from you, then you can make a living out of it. So basically, we're creating jobs for them actually.
You heard the lady, this beautiful lady here said she cried when she got to her country's airport. Can you connect the dots here? She cried because she's no longer in South Africa where she was feeding home from and taking care of things in South Africa. I mean, taking care of herself and her kids and also sending money home. All of that is no longer there. That was why she cried. I hope you see the dots here. Dot number 2, let's connect that one quickly. Bear it in mind that this lady said that she went to South Africa for a visit. Upon arrival, she decided to, why not build a life here? Do you get it? Now, there is a South African in South Africa doing the same thing, though legitimately. Now, this our beautiful sister here is in South Africa and she want to survive. Then she now erected and rent it out. That is a beautiful business idea. But then it's affecting the locals. It is affecting the locals, except we are trying to say that the laws in South Africa should be emotional. Anyway, before I even say much, let's take a look at the video of the woman I'm talking about.
What we want to do is to highlight the impact of illegal immigration within our suburb. Because most of the time when they are talking about illegal immigration, they think it only affects the townships or the poorest of the poor, whatever they want to call it. But even us at the suburbs are feeling the impact of illegal immigration, where people are erecting illegal structures that we have been reporting for years, and we are doing what we can do as residents, but it's all falling on deaf ears. The problem with illegal shacks that are being erected on a daily basis, is it devalues our properties. Because the more of these illegal shacks are erected, the less the value of our property. So we want to call on law enforcement agencies to also come into the suburbs, especially Midrand, because it is a breeding ground for illegal immigration.
Exactly. This is what I'm talking about. You can dislike this one because she's a South African, and of course choose to sympathize with this our sister because she's a Kenyan and she wanted to survive. Nobody is thinking about this one who is also surviving. Now at this point, if you do not understand the struggle of South Africans, I will not be able to help you, okay? I will not be able to convince you. But I just love the fact that South Africans understand that you can only help others when you are okay. And if you want to keep helping, you are just going to keep going down the drain. So no matter the names calling, they are ready to fix their country and put themselves first before their fellow black brothers. I almost forgot to say this, that each time I hear they burned my shop, they robbed me, they raped me, they stole my phone, they looted my shop, I see everyone try so hard to make it look like people like Jacinta and Co, Victoria Africa and the rest, and every South African comes together to do that to them. Nobody remembered to be specific that what happened to them was a case of robbery. And this is why you see people like Jacinta step in. It's okay, you know what? There's something going on here in this country that is wrong. I want to put the country in order. So go back to your country so that we can take care of our bad guys, make the environment safe for ourselves, so that when you come back into our country legitimately, by then we have been able to sort out these bad guys, know what to do with them, know where to put them. And of course, they told you 6 months ago to go back to your country. I don't know why some people felt like it is okay to remain there. even though without the right paper, you continue to stay back. They were warning you every day. They say, go back to your country first. Go, because during the protest, they could guess that something might go wrong and it will affect you because you are not a South African and you are not there with the right papers. But you, my fellow Africans, say no, you'd rather choose to be emotional than to be factual. And I wish you all the best, okay? You don't like South Africans, but I'm happy with the fact that South Africans have finally had enough this time. As a foreigner living in another African country, I have encountered some things that are unpleasant. I have lost more than 6 phones in my host country. I have, had some little unpleasant experiences. I have been defrauded by mobile money fraudsters. So will I now get to my own country and go tell them that I make it look like the people of my host country team together to inflict that on me because I'm a foreigner? But it is okay for us to do it, to say that about South Africans, and everybody will be like, wow, sorry, they are bad people. I beg, everybody enter house. South Africans, enter street and make sure you reclaim your country. Whoever is coming back should do so legitimately. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.